Hey guys, welcome to another driving test video. So the last video I posted, I said that was episode number 1, but that was actually number 2. So today I'm going to be doing number 1. So I'll just change the title on that, but keep in mind this is number 1. So yeah, that's really it. So today is what's today is it? Today is Sunday the 15th. Yeah, the 14th. Sunday the 14th of April 2024, and the time right now is just 50 minutes past 2 o'clock. So that's just 10 minutes to 3. So it's a Sunday, and let's see what the traffic looks like on route number 1 for Chesterfield Driving Test Center. So yep, right now I am moving off from the test center, as you can see. Now unfortunately I did all of these routes a week or two ago. Can't remember, I think yeah, it was about 2 weeks ago. I did episode 1 to 4, and for some reason my hard drive got faulty. I wouldn't say corrupted, faulty. I don't know, something went wrong with it, and unfortunately I lost most of the videos, so I couldn't really use them. It's like I have one camera working, and one file for one camera is fine, and then say the camera on the roof is not, or the roof was fine but then the interior camera wasn't, which is the one that has the audio. So it was just a little bit of hit and miss, so it was just easier. I just deleted everything, and I believe that's also why I made the mistake with the numbering. So yep, we're now heading for, or we are now taking episode number 1. So this is first episode. Okay, it's clear after this car, so do your mirror checks just before the car gets to you, so that once the car passes you, you just move on rather than start holding back again and then wasting time. So I haven't got much battery on the car today, so as a result of that I'm only going to do one episode. So I'm just going to do this particular route, but then since the weather is good, if I do have enough battery after this, maybe I might try another one. So I would take on the 4th episode, so the 4th route, because I believe that's a little bit more, should I say, tricky, yeah, than this one. So this road is dirty from that point. This is why you want to keep an eye out for the signs. Remember, try not to cram things. Just look out, look into the road, look out for signs, and plan ahead. Know what's ahead of you. Look out for situations ahead so that you're able to plan earlier or further into the road. Okay, we're taking the second road on the left. So this is the first one. And then right there is our road. So keep in mind, your focus should not just be the speed, but the situation ahead, the road. I mean, you've got to ask yourself, is it going to be safe during that speed? on the kind of road that you're on. If you've got cars parked on both sides of the road, then that's something to keep in mind as well. How residential is it? How close to the road are the houses? These kind of things. Is someone going to run out of the house and straight into the road, or do they have that little space that actually allows you to see them and allows them to see you as well? So these are things that would affect your speed. Then again, if you're driving through a built up area, again, you've got to keep that in mind. So when lights flashing, that is telling you right there from this point, speed limit, the maximum would be 20 when that light is flashing. So these are things you've got to look out for. We're not cramming it, we're just pointing things out that you've got to look out for. That, wow. So here you've got to be very careful coming into this road. It is not a one-way because there's no sign there, so there could be cars coming out through the road. So you take your time. And then we've got the 30 sign here. There you go. That's one sign at the entrance there, so clearly not a one-way. So you got to keep that in mind as you're coming into the road. Don't come in fast. And at this point, the road is wider, is open, so I can make a little bit more progress. And I'm gonna turn left on the next road ahead. Okay, so black car coming ahead. I'm starting to look out for space. I believe this is the best one, so I would pull into this space. So this is meeting situation. Remember, start looking out for gaps. Find the most convenient, the most safe, the most comfortable one. Don't rush into it. Reduce that speed. Think ahead. And also pay attention to the oncoming traffic, because sometimes they might actually give way to you, which means you proceed at that point. Okay, so like this car, there you go. So they've given me way. I see that. Go for it, but don't rush yourself. They've given you way. Make progress, but don't rush either. And don't sleep on it. Okay, so here we've got a junction. It's a bend. You want to be very careful at this junction because from far away it is very easy to actually miss the junction, and by the time you realize it, it'll be too late because you're approaching too fast thinking it was a straight road in the first place. Now, second thing is you got to remember that if there's any vehicle coming like this car ahead to my right, keep in mind that if they have not signaled, remember that they are following the road, which means they'll be coming across your front. Don't assume they're going straight into the road, unless if of course they have signaled that, as you would see here. As well as the junctions, if people don't signal, don't assume that they're going straight. See right there, you've got to be careful. Remember that you should be giving way to them. Don't assume they're going straight. It's a bend and the road continues through your left, not through your right. So don't forget, don't overthink at that point. I thought I have done this route before, but it actually looks different to me. Right. Okay, so we're turning left. All right, junctions like this, you want to make sure lean forward so that you can see better. If you have leaned forward and you still cannot see, then that's the point where you want to consider creeping safely forward over that line. And at that point, you can make a decision if it's safe to continue or not. Okay, so roundabout ahead and taking second exit straight ahead. So no oncoming traffic, so that means it's good for me to go. Just quick glance to your left, just in case someone is already committed, you know what to do, give them way. Okay, so We are continuing straight here and bearing left. So I made the mistake at this junction just because I didn't realize the road was actually opening up into 3 lanes. And that happened so suddenly that by the time you realize it, you're already in the wrong lane. Now, this has happened even with the learner that I brought to this point. And it is very easy to do if you're not aware or familiar with this particular road. It's quite ridiculous, but I mean, this is some of the things you have driving in UK roads. So keep in mind, you know it now. But if you end up like I did, don't forget, just follow that direction on that floor and your examiner will tell you what to do next. Hope no one on the left. Oh, I think I took the wrong turn. Come on, why have I done this again? Why did I say that? Okay, we've got to do a U-turn somewhere. Okay, I can turn into this road. And then I use it to turn back around. So these are mistakes that can happen on your test. Realistically, not the end of the world. The examiner will tell you what to do next. I mean, I said straight ahead, but then I turned left. I don't know what I was doing, but yeah. So coming back to the place I should be in the first place now. Doop, 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 doop. Okay, don't rush it. See that driver there, it's not sure which lane they were going to be in, so take your time. Alright, so we're continuing straight now. We're back on course. So as you can see, these things happen even to the best of us. So if you miss your exit, that's not the end of the world. Don't try and, I mean, I could have go, wrong place, and then you take it back to the right, but then that's going to be too dangerous. Serious fall straight away. I'll fail you for that easily. So don't do that. Just miss the turn. The examiner will tell you what to do next. It is always better, safer than trying to avoid missing a road and then you're doing, dangerous driving on the road. Okay, so zebra crossing, there's an island in the middle, so I treat that as 2 separate crossing. Now, that pedestrian was still much to the middle of that lane on the right and not yet in the middle, so hence I am still okay to go through. But if they were past that point and they're going to be getting to the middle of the zebra at the same time as me, then at that point I'll be planning to stop to give way. Now, the cyclist was there as well, but I had a little bit of space, so I wasn't too worried. But if you end up stopping for the two of them in that kind of situation, again, not a fault there at all. But for me, in my case, I'm just thinking much more faster ahead to make those decisions. So maybe you might not be able to make that fast decisions. So it'll be okay if you just get there and stop for that situation. And remember, if you notice my head, I am constantly, checking around me. And if your head isn't moving around enough, that's probably because you're too serious. You want to relax so that you're able to sweep the road. No one drives with their head just locked in straight ahead. It's not good. You're not picking things out on the road. Okay, it's clear. Make sure you look forward before you go because this driver might pull out just before. So at this roundabout, we are continuing straight ahead, A617. Now the left lane and the middle lane both continue straight ahead. Left lane goes left to A61 north as well as A617. So you want to be in the left lane because that's your normal driving lane. It's easier, it's safer. You just go straight across the roundabout. You do not need to change any lanes. But if you end up in the middle lane for any reason, it is not a big deal. So remember, don't try holding back traffic because you're trying to make trying to make your way back into the left lane. Just use that middle lane to continue straight ahead. And when you exit the roundabout and it's safe, you can then change lane back to the left lane. Now, keep in mind that don't try and force yourself into the left lane. Make sure it is safe. But then if you're not able to change lane back to the left lane safely, then just follow the traffic in that lane and the examiner will tell you what to do next if at that point you have missed your turn. Remember, I repeat again, don't go against as you can see straight ahead, second exit from the left lane there. So again, I would show that from the back camera, then you'd see it was very easy. But again, back to what I was saying, the sat nav that I'm using is not the best. It's from the company that does the route, and it's not the best sat nav, and it's just ridiculous. So that's why I do have some of the situations where I miss the exits. Now we're driving at a faster speed. I do hope the audio is still okay, although I'm using the mic, but there's a lot of road noise inside the cabin, so I'm hoping it'll still be alright. So I'm going to overtake this car, but you don't have to, because at the moment I'm at 55, but I can do better than that, so I don't need to sit behind this car. But keep in mind, I'm coming to turn left ahead of me, so in about 1 mile from here, so it's better I get myself back into the left lane, anticipating my next turn. Wow, this is a totally different route. Thought I've been through it, but I haven't. Clearly not. Don't know how I missed it. Okay, so my exit is coming up ahead. Do your mirror checks. Wait to get to the last marker and signal to exit. So always remember, plan ahead now as well. What are you doing after this exit? Now after this exit, I can see from the sat nav already that I'm turning left. Now if I was turning right, I would have kept into that right lane, and that way, you know, if you're planning ahead, it's easier to plan your drive. Oh, turning right actually takes you towards my old place when I used to live in Chesterfield. Okay, I start to have a feeling like I'm doing the wrong route. This looks more like an ADI route. So like a route they would take you through if you were doing your driving test to become an instructor. This seems like more of the kind of route you would go. So I might be going through test route number 1 for ADI or PDI. Sorry, so but let's see, when I finish I get to find out. If it goes onto the motorway at any point, then definitely not the right route. That would be for ADI. If it goes onto the motorway, because your tests would never take you on the motorway. You go on the dual carriageway, though it might be 60 or 70, but not a motorway. I mean, if you're good at driving at high speed, it's not too much of an ask. It's not too bad. It's actually alright. So we've got a junction on our right coming up, and then we've got a bend ahead as well. And you can see the arrows over there. So these are things you gotta look out for. Look out for signs. Okay, and junction ahead, we are turning left. So that would be at the traffic light. So right here, the lane opens up, so pick your lane in good time. Okay. All right. And we make progress. So we're back in the 40 zone. Follow the bend. So I can see there's a 30 sign ahead. So right from that point, speed limit is now 30 maximum. So make sure by the time you get here, you're at 30 or less. Okay, and I can see a mini roundabout ahead. At the mini roundabout, I am going straight. Now, I mentioned the sat nav earlier on. Sat nav actually doesn't show this mini roundabout.
And as you approach this roundabout, the building on your right blocks your view into the right as you get to the roundabout. So please make sure that you are reducing speed and preparing to stop. You can only see clearly and make a right decision once you get to that junction, so the giveaway line. Unless, of course, if there are oncoming traffic going straight across, which at that point becomes your blocker.
And that is how bad it is. Okay, so if they haven't got signal on, just wait, because we don't know if it's going to turn right or left. So I would just wait at that point, not taking that risk. If there was a road to your left, then that car might have been going straight, but there's no road there, so it's either going to be left or right. Quite lazy there. That could have helped if that driver just signaled their intention. And as you see, that's also what happens when you don't use your signal. You don't help the flow of traffic, because other road users at that point have no clue what you're doing, so they just have to keep waiting. Remember, when you're going through situations like this, make sure you're making use of the space that's left on your side, and then take whatever you need from the other side if it's safe to do so. Don't abandon the whole of the space you've got now and jump into the right lane, because that would be the wrong way to do it. You are now driving on the wrong side of the road. Okay, and we've got 40. So again, build up your speed nicely. So I'm on the floor there, as you can see, turning right, right only. And if you're going straight ahead, it's your left lane. Light is changing, and off I go. This is a very nice route, I must say, because I have actually had a lot of time to just talk through things. Sometimes on some of the other routes, by the time you're talking about one thing, something else is coming up, and you barely have time to actually go through one. Hence why I have to keep stopping and talking through them when I'm doing the editing. But this one seems like I'll be able to post the video as quick as possible, because it seems to be like nothing much to come in between to talk about, as I'm able to do it while I'm driving now. St. Peter and Paul. So I've got 17% battery left in the car right now. So I am thinking, should I do one more route, or should I call it a day? Let's see. Back to 30. Keep in mind, if you're thinking as you drive, you're going to miss all those signs. It's just normal. So you want to try and stop thinking about whatever is not ahead of you, and let what you're thinking about should be on what's ahead. Think forward, not backwards. Okay, so traffic light, we're going straight ahead.
Ahead of us, we have a bridge. That's after crossing this traffic light. And at that bridge, the road becomes 2 lanes. And after that bridge, we have a traffic light, after which you then meet a roundabout. And at the roundabout, we are turning right, third exit. So you want to actually start pushing yourself to the right as you pass this bridge. So pick the right lane from this point. So right here, it opens up into 2 lanes. So
I know I'm
filter
going right
into
anyway, so it's
the right lane.
to my right angle. So just right at 3 o'clock. So at that point, I'll use the arrows.
So remember, if you want to make your life easier, change that lane right when it was a single lane and filter into the right lane, because it might be difficult for you to try and change lane at this point after the traffic light, especially if it is rush hour. So picking or staying in the correct lane in good time is better.
So I go. So middle lane is going straight, and right lane is turning right. First exit, second exit, mirror check, signal left, spiral out.
And make sure that you already know what you're doing as you exit the roundabout, because otherwise you might just make the mistake I did right here. So if you're continuing straight as you're exiting the roundabout, then you just want to remain in the right lane as you exit the roundabout. Don't go into the left lane, because as you exit, the left lane is now turning left only, which means you're then gonna have to change back to the right lane. But if you can't do this safely and you're already caught up in the left lane, too far into it, then just follow the direction or follow the examiner's instruction.
And here's my exit. Okay, keep to the right because I'm going straight ahead, and I can see the arrow on the floor there pointing left. Now this is the reason why you want to make sure you're looking into the road as soon as you're turning.
But then on the second note, there is nothing you could have done about that, even if you were looking ahead, because there's no way you would have seen that floor marking until it's actually too late. That is why they should have had a sign there to let drivers know of that ahead. Again, this is one of the problems I complain about with UK roads and the signs. But anyways, like I mentioned earlier, most cases your examiner would have told you as you probably even enter the roundabout, or before you enter the roundabout, I mean, that you want to keep right as you exit the roundabout, or either way as you're in the roundabout. Again, exam might say to you, yep, just stay in this lane and exit in the lane you're currently on. So it's now left to you if your ears are actually open, because remember, you might be hearing something but you're not actually reacting or responding to what you're hearing because you're overthinking. Your mind is somewhere else. This is why you want to keep everything open: body, mind, hands, ears, eyes, and
So
stay calm.
make sure, try your best. But if it's genuinely too late and last minute and unsafe, then just miss that turn. Go left.
And again, as you take this bend here, the road becomes 2 lanes again, the usual same thing, and left lane is turning left only, so you want to keep to your right. Again, I'm hoping examiner would let you know and say to you to keep right, because there's no way you could see the situation coming. Another UK road.
Only. See, these are things that makes life easier when you know it. Because on your test, you're probably already very anxious, you're nervous. So all this becomes even more difficult. The minute you see these things last minute, it's too late. Before you remember that I said just miss the turn, you probably done the wrong thing already. So, but if you know what's coming up ahead, then it's easier to deal with. So we're turning right, just gonna follow the road around or follow the lane. Okay, and then I'm gonna keep left.
And then as you exit this road here at the traffic light, you want to keep right, because again there's going to be a lane on the left going straight ahead and you're turning right, which is
I
the right
signaled
lane.
there. Don't know. Any big deal about that? Not really. So again, wow, this is going to be tricky. So as you can see right there, as you're coming left, you got to keep right because you're turning right at the roundabout. Yeah. And that is it. So down the road, we've got the test center. So that's really it. That is it. That is it. All right, so right after the bus stop ahead of us, we're going to be turning left. And that's it, back to the test center. So I have used about 5% of battery to go through this. So here you want to be patient. Okay, there's a gap after this black car. I'm gonna start moving. There we go. And that is it. Now, one dilemma. If I do another test route, I might not have enough battery to get to the charger. Do I take the gamble? I'll do it. So if I'm driving a bit slow on that route, then that's because I'm trying to save some battery to get to the charger after the route. So let's go for it. We're going to do one more route. So I would skip number 3. I would go into number 4. And that's because number 4 has a little bit of tricky roads around it, so we're going to do number 4. So but that's it really. I hope you found these helpful. I hope you found it useful. If you do, please don't forget, click the like button, share, and leave a comment below if you've got any other questions at all. Now remember though, use these videos along with your lessons. If you've got anything that you're not so sure of, maybe because your instructors told you something otherwise, first thing I always say is show them the video and see, maybe we might agree but approaching it in a different angle, or leave a comment below as well, then I would explain what I do. So that's really it. I hope you find it useful again. So I would see you in the next video, so which is coming right away. So time right now is 20 minutes past 3, and we started at just 10 to 3, so that was just about 30 minutes. So yep, see you in route number 4. Stay blessed. Peace. I'm out.